The kingdom of Eldoria at sunrise, with vast green fields, towering castles, and dragons flying in the sky. Lira, a young girl, is training with her small dragon, Ember, in a field just outside her village. She watches the horizon where the floating peaks can be seen in the distance. In the kingdom of Eldoria, only the bravest can dream of soaring with dragons. For as long as Lira could remember, she had dreamed of one thing: winning the Dragon Riders tournament. Lira, a 12-year-old girl with a determined spirit. She has shoulder-length brown hair, bright green eyes, and always carries an air of quiet confidence. She's humble, hardworking, and believes in her dragon, Ember, when no one else does. Ember, Lira's dragon, small and agile with bright amber eyes, ember-like scales, and wings that shimmer like flames when they catch the sunlight. Though stubborn, Ember is fiercely, bustling arena set high in the mountains with banners fluttering, crowds gathering, and dragons of all shapes and sizes preparing for the race. Lira stands small among the towering dragons, with Ember beside her. Among the mighty racers, Lira felt tiny, but she wasn't here for their approval. She had one thing on her side: heart, and Ember's wings, Aldrin. The arrogant prince, 16 years old, he has sleek black hair, wears armor with royal blue accents, and rides a massive, powerful black dragon named Tempest. Aldrin is Lira's main competitor. Other riders, a diverse group of competitors, from heavily armored knights to nimble, fast-paced racers, each with their own unique dragons: massive war dragons, serpentine wind riders, and armored mountain dragons. Dynamic scene of the dragons launching into the air from the arena, their wings creating gusts of wind as they shoot into the sky. The floating peaks loom ahead, shrouded in mist, with jagged rocks and waterfalls visible in the distance. With a thunderous beat of wings, the race began. The sky was filled with dragons, soaring, diving, and roaring through the air. For Lira, the world had never felt so alive. Ember, quick to dart forward, Lira's small, fiery dragon makes up for its size with speed. Ember's wings beat in rapid bursts, allowing for sharp, nimble turns. Other dragons, some dragons like Tempest, glide powerfully with ease, while others are slower but more armored, creating turbulence in the air for smaller dragons like Ember. Ember and Lira weaving through the jagged cliffs of the floating peaks, with narrow canyon walls closing in. Behind them, larger dragons struggle to maneuver, knocking against rocks and each other. The towering cliffs closed in, but Lira had one advantage. While the larger dragons fought for space, she and Ember danced through the narrow passage, faster than the wind. Lira, her quick thinking shines here as she leans into Ember's speed, encouraging her dragon to stay nimble and light through the obstacles. Other riders. The riders on larger dragons struggle, their beasts scraping against the walls, slowing them down. Tempest and Aldrin remain a strong competitor, smashing through smaller obstacles with brute strength. A massive, molten-eyed dragon standing guard in the middle of the racecourse, breathing torrents of fire that scorch the air. The racers pull back in fear, except for Lira, who dives toward the canyon floor, guiding Ember below the flames. Fire roared from the Guardian's mouth, forcing the strongest riders to retreat, but Lira had learned that sometimes the smallest can fly the lowest. Fire Guardian, a colossal ancient dragon with lava-like scales and molten eyes, it stands as a protector of the floating peaks. Its fiery breath creates a deadly barrier for the racers. Aldrin, frustrated and enraged as his powerful approach fails to break through, he's forced to retreat from the Guardian's flames. A narrow passage filled with howling winds, making it nearly impossible to fly straight. Lira and Ember catch the wind currents, using them to their advantage, while the larger dragons struggle against the force of the storm. The wind howled, threatening to throw the riders from the sky. But Lira knew better than to fight it. She and Ember would ride the wind like leaves on the breeze. Ember, light and agile, Ember effortlessly uses the wind to glide forward, keeping balance and gaining speed in the chaotic storm. Tempest, Aldrin's dragon, Tempest, muscles through the wind but struggles, its size working against it as it gets buffeted back and forth by the gusts. The finish line comes into view, but Aldrin and Tempest are closing in fast. Ember's wings glow in the sunlight as Lira urges her dragon forward with every ounce of speed they have left, just inches ahead of Tempest. The finish line gleamed on the horizon, but Tempest was gaining. Lira's heart raced as she pushed Ember to her limit, One last burst of speed, one last chance to win it all. Lira and Ember stand victorious, the crowd cheering as the king presents her with the fire gem. Ember glows with the magical power of the gem, and Lira beams with pride, surrounded by the awestruck crowd and humbled competitors. Against all odds, they had done it. Lira and Ember, the smallest competitors in the race, had proven that heart and courage were more powerful than strength alone. They were champions.